What's up, guys, and welcome back to the G-Ret Show. I'm G-Ret. Copa America and the Euros are right around the corner, so there's not too much stuff going on. There's really not many transfer rumors for these big names right now. There's definitely some stuff I want to share with you guys. A couple quick updates about Barcelona, nothing too crazy. I do want to touch a lot about Pedri, what we can expect moving forward from him, what we can expect from him and the rest of the midfield with Flick as the manager. We'll touch briefly on the Euros, mostly about Spain and some of the players from Barcelona that are on the national team. So we'll jump right in and talk about all these different topics. So first, I really briefly just want to touch on these two quick updates that I was just made aware of about two Barca players. So Lewandowski apparently in a friendly, I think they were playing Turkey, just picked up an injury 6 days before their first match. I'm not sure how serious it is. I didn't even see what the injury actually was, but he did come off pretty early in the match. That's definitely not good news for him, for Barcelona, for Poland. So hopefully it's nothing serious and it's more precautionary. We definitely don't want to see him getting injured before the Euros. So this is going to be his last time playing in the Euros, I can only imagine. So we definitely want to see him play at the bare minimum. Now next, it looks like there have been some talks about Barcelona wanting to open up talks with Frenkie de Jong about extending his contract. Side note, I just feel like we all kind of knew deep down they weren't going to get rid of Frenkie de Jong. Anyways, his contract expires in 2026. There isn't anything formal going on between them in regards to negotiating this new extension, but it looks like Frenkie de Jong is a little hesitant to do so as he feels he's going to have more power the longer he waits. So obviously if he waits until the end of next season, he's probably going to feel like he has more power and ability to ask for more money. Look, he's already making like 20 million, I believe, per season. First of all, that's too much money for him to begin with the productivity that you're getting. We're not second guessing his talent or his potential, but that's too much money for someone that's, not providing 15 assists or 20 goals a season. It is what it is. Frenkie will also be 28 at the end of next season, so I don't think he's going to get a bigger contract. He can't with that age, so there's no way, but those are the two major updates about Barcelona. Now next, I really want to talk about Pedri. There's something about Pedri in a lot of Barcelona, they have a lot of young talent, and as great as Lamine Yamal is, and as amazing as he's going to be, he could be one of the best players we've ever seen. Same with Pedri, obviously, and there's a lot of other great young players, but being that Pedri's in the midfield, you can win and die by your midfield, and with the talent this kid possesses, this Pedri that we've been seeing with the Spanish national team the last few weeks, and that we saw with Barcelona to end the season, again, it's not like they were huge matches, it matters, but what we saw, if Barcelona gets that 80% or more of the time from Pedri, he is easily going to be one of the best, not midfielders, just one of the best players of this generation. He might be the most important person to this Barcelona team and their success moving forward. He has the ability to dictate a match. He has all the ability, like Iniesta, to dribble, to score, to pass. He has amazing vision, intelligence. He's got it all. We just need to see this on a consistent basis. In my opinion, what I have seen over this past year and the season prior, so many injuries, off and on, and he's young. As someone who suffered a severe hamstring injury when I was probably like 14-ish, it hurt. It kept me out for about a year, off and on, and I was always nervous, and I played tentative because I was always afraid I was going to re-injure it. You know that's going on in the back of his head. How can you possibly play at full speed and be completely comfortable and be your normal self on the pitch when you're consistently getting injured and you don't feel consistently healthy? You feel pressured by the media, the club, that you're not performing to the top. You know he's a young kid. I'm sure he gets nervous and I'm sure he's tentative on the pitch when you're not 100%. I can guarantee you that's a huge reason why Pedri wasn't as successful this season. And especially when it comes to muscle injuries, it makes it even worse because one slight move and you can tear something, it can pull and you can go down, which seems to be the culprit of most of his issues. One of the reasons why I think he's been so successful the last few weeks at Barca and why he's looked so good with the national team right now is they're playing him in this role where he has so much free ability. It's like he's a free roaming attacking midfielder, kind of like Iniesta, where he has this ability to go on the attack and the attack starts through him. The last few matches at Barcelona, he was hovering around the opponent's final third, and that's so important. And Hansi Flick actually stated that he wants to utilize Pedri in that way moving forward. He wants him to float more towards the opponent's penalty box and be more attacking, which it's huge. we could see that it's a night and day difference. Now, again, he's the type of midfielder, even at his age, he's able to drop back, and if you want him to hold the ball, and he can somewhat still direct traffic and dictate the speed of the match. But that's not the main reason you want Pedri on the pitch. You want him because of his vision, his passing ability, his ability to beat guys and dribble forward and attack. He can attack and he can score, but he's really not been utilized in that capacity. I feel like Gundogan has kind of been in that boat too. I feel like both of them, even Frenkie de Jong, they've all been kind of boxed in to adapt to these certain positions. And I can guarantee you, if they get a real center defensive midfielder, it's going to change so much, mostly for Pedri and for Gundogan, because those two players, so many times this season, especially Gundogan, we've seen him have to drop so deep and hold the ball and drop back so much and not attack in the slightest. And that's what we cannot afford to have. He's such a creative and attacking player, just like Pedri, and they're not being able to utilize their strengths to the entire capacity that they're able to. And that's what I'm seeing from Pedri lately, and I can't wait to see what he does in the Euros, because they have Rodri, the best center defensive midfielder in the world right now. Those two in the same midfield is going to be so fun to watch. Those two players, Rodri and Pedri. I know this might be a little off topic, but Spain, in my opinion, can be a very dangerous team in the Euros. So I think Pedri, if he's healthy, will be one of the most important players for Barcelona, if not the most, because a winning midfield is usually a winning team. The best midfield usually can win the matches, which is why City is always so successful. They have Kevin De Bruyne and Rodri and Bernardo Silva and Foden who can step in. They have those players. That's why Barcelona was so fantastic for so many years, because of their midfield. Look at Real Madrid. They always have a good midfield. Casemiro, Kroos, Modric, and now they have Valverde, Bellingham, Tchouaméni, Camavinga. They have a lot of depth, a lot of talent, and Barcelona has the talent too, but they're playing a little out of position, and Pedri in the right position, healthy, will be a top player in the world, might even be the best young midfielder of this generation. Him and Jamal Musiala, in my opinion, are the two best young midfielders in the world, significantly more creative and more skilled than Bellingham. And in my opinion, they're better than Jude Bellingham. Now, it's hard to say Pedri's better than them because he's had such an unfortunate blow with all these injuries. You can't really say that. But from what I'm seeing right now, it's so night and day difference how much better and how much more confident he looks. And if he stays healthy and Barcelona can prioritize these young players' health like Lamine Yamal and most importantly, Pedri and Gavi, we have to do that because they're injury prone. They're coming off injuries. We got to keep them fresh because these players could be on Barcelona for another 10 plus years and they could be extremely successful. We just have to implement the right training program, the right managers, the right coaches, and hopefully Hansi Flick can be a huge part in that because Bayern Munich always seems to be on top of their fitness, has great physical regimens, and hopefully he can bring some team over and help Barcelona with that because it's been a nightmare for the last several years for some of these players. So I'm extremely excited to see some of these Barcelona players in the Euros, especially to watch Spain. I cannot wait to see what Barcelona does next season. And if they can get a CDM, in my opinion, they were already so close to achieving so much this year. They should have been in the Champions League final. One mistake cost them the Champions League semifinal. They don't make that mistake. No red card from Araujo. They're in the semifinal. And I think they beat Dortmund, and I think they could have beaten Real Madrid. They lost to him 3 times this year. They have to beat him sometime. Again, it doesn't matter anymore. The season's over. But they had the shot to be in the Champions League final. This is a team that Xavi was heavily criticized. Huge injuries from Balde and Gavi. Pedri injured off and on. Lewandowski had a terrible season. No real left winger. No real CDM. And Barcelona still almost made the Champions League semifinal. And they should have beaten Madrid both times in La Liga. I know, shoulda, woulda, coulda. They should have beaten them. I mean, they were so close to having an impressive season with some really unfortunate luck that was against them. Now, you're telling me this team with a coach that I can't say I'm sold on him and I'm not sold on him because I can't say he's proven Hansi Flick, but he's been a manager at the top level. So the experience is there. He's coached Lewandowski. He's won a Champions League. He could bring in Kimmich, who knows how to win at a high level, who's a defensive-minded player. So a real experienced manager bringing in the right training regimen for these players stopping the injuries, and getting a real CDM. Even if you didn't get a left winger, even if you didn't get Bernardo Silva, even if you didn't get Nico Williams, even if you didn't get any of those players, and you just added a real CDM, I can guarantee you this Barcelona team can compete with Real Madrid for a domestic trophy. Maybe not win La Liga, but be pretty damn close to winning La Liga. And there's no doubt in my mind, if they get the CDM, if Flick fits pretty well and the culture's good here, and there aren't any major injuries, Barcelona will make the quarterfinals in the Champions League, because what they did last year, they have better health, a real CDM, another year of experience for Lamine Yamal. This was his first real season playing at the top level, and this is how good he already was. Imagine him next year. Imagine Gavi on the team next year and Balde. It's going to be night and day different. I don't want to overhype them, and I don't want to get too excited. But from what I see a lot of good. The Nike deal's huge. This could be insane for Barcelona's revenue and signing players for the future. So there's a lot of good. It's just a lot of what ifs. A lot of, are they going to sign the right player? Are they going to stay healthy? Is Pedri going to stay healthy? There's a lot of what ifs, but if these what ifs they will happen, and it is happening, then I'm completely excited. The season's in 2 months, and I think Barcelona could have a great season, and I know they can compete with Real Madrid. I don't think they're going to be as unreal as people think. They're going to be great. They're going to be extremely fun to watch. I think Barcelona can beat them once next season. I mean, they have to. It's El Clasico, but I'm excited, and there's a lot of good. Let me know your thoughts down below. I know I kind of touched on a lot of different stuff, but let me know what you guys think about some of the things I covered, like Pedri. If Pedri plays how he's been playing and in the right position where he's more of an attacking-minded midfielder, do you think he could be the best midfielder of this generation, or at least top 3? What are your expectations from Barcelona moving forward, especially with these young core group of guys like Lamine Yamal, Gavi, Pedri, Fermin Lopez, Balde, Pau Cubarsí? If they're all healthy, how much success can they have moving forward? Who do you think wins the Euros? How do you think some of these players from Barcelona will do on the Spanish national team for the Euros? And then what are your expectations if these signings go right for next season and Flick fits in well? What are your expectations for Barcelona? Can they win any domestic trophies? Can they win La Liga? Can they make it far in the Champions League? Let me know your thoughts down below. And if you made it this far, I appreciate you guys sticking around and watching, and I hope to see you guys back here next time on the G-Red Show.